What's up, everyone? All right, so today is the first day of rebuilding my account after a couple of really big losses and kind of a just bad couple of weeks of trading. And you know, we've probably all been there. If you're watching this video right now, you might be here in the same spot as me right now. So the goal today ultimately is to try to make back everything that I lost in the last 2 weeks in the first 30 minutes, right? You just failed the first test. Wrong. The goal today is just to try to clean the slate, just to have, even if it's a break-even day, even if I only make $10 today, it's just to start rebuilding confidence. I just really want to have a small green day. And that means I need to focus on the setups that I have the highest level of conviction in. So for my strategy, now for your strategy, that's what you would want to do. You would want to focus on the setups that you feel the best about, so you can just kind of start to rebuild one brick at a time with small green trades, A-quality setups. Now, as a result of focusing on A-quality setups, it's certainly possible that there will be some big wins in there, but it'll be because of A-quality, not because of throwing a Hail Mary pass and trying to make back all of the losses in one trade. It's human instinct to try to do that. I know because I have it. And so what I need to do is I need to fight that human instinct. There's a quote by Peter Lynch that I'm gonna get for you real quick. Let me find it. So the quote is, "The trick is to learn not to trust your gut feelings, but rather to discipline yourself to ignore them." How true is that for day trading? All right, so I want you guys to comment below what you do when you're in a rut and you're trying to get out of it. What I've done is I've put my my checklist here of some of the things that I need to be mindful of. Question, is adding to positions working? Number two, do I have a confirmation bias? In other words, I'm being overconfident and just thinking things are going to work because I'm just psyching myself out that they will. So be more objective. Number three, no multitasking while I'm trading. It's a bad habit of mine that I'll do something else and then I'll flip back and take a trade, and I'm not going to do that for the next couple weeks. Number four, I'm going to do a 1 minute meditation before the bell rings. Now, 1 minute is just enough for me to be quiet, focused, grounded. Just bring it back down before I start trading. And then number five, to ask myself, are we in a hot market or a cold market? Well, after the 150% move that we saw on Friday in one of these small cap stocks, which I still managed to lose money on, I would say we may be in a market that's picking back up. So that could be really great, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm still gonna play it a little bit safe and just really this morning try to focus on A-quality setups. All right, so that's the game plan. I'm gonna get into my watch list, and then as soon as the bell rings, I'm gonna be looking for a trade and hoping that I can find something that looks really solid, minimal risk with good profit potential. All right, so that's the game plan right now. All right, so it's about 2 o'clock. Actually, it's 2:45. So I'm done trading for the day, and the rebound plan worked better than expected. I'm actually up $14,800. Okay, so that's not the typical rebound scenario. What typically happens with a rebound is just a small bounce off the lows, a small green day, and then sometimes, as I said earlier today, sometimes just by focusing on A-quality setups, you end up having a great opportunity. Now, what ended up happening today was that we ended up having one of these kind of like, you know, sort of big events where we had this stock that was gapping up 95% on Friday and that squeezed up, gapping up another 95% today, and right now is up 335%. This stock literally last week was at $1.72 and right now is at $22.50. Okay, so when you have a stock like that in the market, that's volatility, and that can create opportunity. Now, despite the fact that I'm up 14,000 today, I would actually be up a heck of a lot more if I wasn't coming off of a slump. And that even gives me a little bit of FOMO. Maybe not FOMO, but more of like regret of missing out or frustration of missing out. I don't know. But the reason I have that is because if I had been able to feel like I could take more risk today, I could have made a lot more money. But I didn't feel comfortable taking a lot of risk early on because, of course, today I just need to focus on rebounding. Part of the reason today was such a solid day was because I prepared. And that started with going to bed early last night, getting a good night's sleep. I got up earlier today than usual. I got up about 45 minutes earlier because I didn't want to feel rushed this morning. I wanted to take my time. I got up, I picked out my outfit. The first thing was sorting through all my red shirts. There's a red shirt? No. Pink shirt? No. That's a shade of red. That's not going to work either. This red shirt, I wore that on Friday. It's bringing back bad memories already. That's not going to work. Green shirt? There we go. So I put on the green shirt. I envisioned myself having a green day. So my green shirt, my nice jacket, coming in, feeling good. I go downstairs. I let the dogs out. They do their morning routine. They run around outside. I make some coffee, just kind of taking it slow. Now, it's so typical for me to just have so many things going on that I'm bumbling out the door, and I drive to work now. My office is not at my house. So just that whole process, it's easy to get a little behind schedule, and then you're at a red light and things start to... But today I left early. A nice relaxing drive to work. Ate some oatmeal along the way. I came into the office, I sat down, I did my kind of rebound, the first part of this rebound video. I then did my meditation, and when I sat down to trade, I felt pretty calm, cool, and collected. And guess what happened? My very first trade today, I lost money. I went into the red. And for a moment, I was like, I just kind of felt like, mother. That's just sort of how I felt for a second there. And then, all of a sudden, I just kind of was at peace with it. And I was like, you're okay. So it's a red day. Let's just see if, maybe something else will pop up. If I can cut the loss in half, that's great. And maybe soften the blow. And that ended up happening. That happened as SES started squeezing up. And my trade on SES, and I'll pull up my charts here, my trade on SES that was really good was when I got in at $9 for the break of the volume weighted average price. So this was a nice simple day trade. The setup was right here for the break over $9. And I'll put up my my P&L here. I'll just close this chart since I'm not going to use it. So there's $11,783 in my main account, and then in my retirement account, another $3,000. After I went from being red in my main account to up only about $500, I said, you know what? You just went from red to green. Let's shut it down. Let's just put that the main account aside and just try to sort of start over. And so then I started over in my retirement account and had a couple great trades on BIMI and SES, and then I went back to the main account and started trading a little bit more. So my very first trade was a good solid 5-minute pullback pattern, long at 9, and as you can see, this ended up breaking out and working really, really well. I then got back in as it came out of afternoon consolidation right here, and we got this break, where was it? Right around here, 1439, for this move up towards 15, and then all the way up to the high. Now, what's interesting today is that while SES was running, BIMI all of a sudden started to pick up momentum, and what these two stocks have in common is that they are both energy stocks, and this is what we call sympathy momentum. Now, as far as a lesson on having a rebound day, it's uncommon that when you're trying to have a rebound day, you have the good fortune of having two stocks squeeze up 300, 400, 500%. And on the one hand, I say that's good fortune. On the other, it's bad fortune because if this had not been a rebound day, if this had been an ordinary day for me, I would have been able to take a lot more risk, and I probably would have been able to buy more shares and make a lot more money on these types of moves. I mean, this could have potentially been, I don't know, a $25,000, $35,000, $40,000 green day, but because I'm in trader rehab and I'm in the, the rebound mode, I was going with smaller share size. Now, of course, we had these huge moves, and so even with smaller share size, I made really good money, but I could have made more. And so that's kind of that challenge right now of trying not to feel too annoyed at myself that because I was overly aggressive on poor quality setups last week, I now, blew my chance at having a really great day today when finally some A quality setups presented themselves. So maybe I'll be a little disappointed in myself, and that'll be just a reminder to try to be more disciplined when the market is a little softer. So anyways, SES and BI, both kind of moving in tandem as they're both these energy stocks. And I was just basically at a certain point in the day trading both of them, looking at one and the other and trading the pullbacks, focusing primarily on 5-minute setups, the setups that I had the higher level of conviction in. So I'm not going to break down each individual trade. The trade on Yuma was also an energy stock that I thought would be a little stronger than it was. That got me for a loss at the open. EPIX randomly hit the momentum stock scanner and I jumped into it thinking that it was going to take off because it was moving quickly, and I got stopped out of that for a loss, which was my biggest loss of the day. But at that point I was already well into the green and was starting to take a little bit more risk, but that one also was a bigger loss than I was anticipating. So although this isn't probably the most typical type of rebound day, I actually did make back, funny enough, all that I lost today, which is not what I was it is not, I assure you, it is not what I was intending to do. I wasn't swinging for the fences like that. I wasn't throwing Hail Mary passes, but we ended up having obviously some great opportunities. A typical rebound day for me is going to be a day that I'm up maybe $500 to $1,000, $1,500, maybe $2,500, and that's where I was sitting after the first 20-30 minutes of trading before things started to really go crazy. So generally speaking, the mentality of a trader who's trying to bounce back, who's trying to rebuild the account, it has to be one of just being crazy about managing risk. Because once you've had a couple big losses, you start to get a little shaken and you don't want to have another. So trying to reduce the risk. Unfortunately, today, that meant that on Yuma, I hesitated a little bit. And then, because I was not totally sure, and then once it started to open up, I jumped in it maybe just a little higher than I should have. And then I did have confirmation, but I paid the price. And then when it failed, I ended up losing. So that's another one of those times where I felt like hesitating almost created the loss. So it's very challenging from an emotional perspective to be totally present with the market, trade the market you're in, to not hesitate when the moment is right, but at the same time maintain that mindfulness that you need to rebound and you can't afford to take a lot of risk right now, that you have to be a little bit more careful. So all of that, getting to that state of mind is the goal of any trader. And it's like, when you see someone surfing, it's being so present that they're able to adjust their weight, without overthinking it, right? To maintain their balance. You can't overthink that stuff. You just have to be, what is the expression? In the flow state. That's the expression. You have to be in the flow state. And anyone who's an athlete, who does sports, anyone who is a musician, knows what that's all about. It's if you're kayaking down a river and the ability just to react and respond, and that it becomes educated intuition. And someone actually mentioned the intuition of trading, how that is a big component, something that someone mentioned in the comments. Again, as always, please throw the comments down below because they help me even as I'm processing all this stuff with trading. But for me, that's something that I need to be able to embrace, that flow state where when I sit down in front of the computer, on the one hand, I'm able just to let it go, just to drop all the baggage about the losses I've had in the past or the bills I have to pay, that in the moment that I'm trading, I'm totally focused. While at the same time, I have to respect my max risk parameters. I can't be so tunnel vision that I go and just do something insanely risky or that I lose sight of the bigger picture. And so being able to have both that short-term view and that bigger picture while not letting it hold you down, that's like Zen state trading. And as long as I've been trading, I'll have moments where I'm totally there. And then other times it slips away from me, and I'm sure you guys can relate to that. So anyways, this has overall been a pretty interesting day. SCS is now dropping back down and actually got halted on a circuit breaker coming back down. So I think we're now probably on the backside of the move for both of these stocks as the momentum kind of dies down. And today, a big challenge for me was to capitalize on FOMO without falling victim to it. So as always, questions, comments, leave them below. Check out the links in my description for those of you guys that are wanting to get started, those of you who are struggling and want some help getting to the place where you want to be as a trader. And as always, I will see you guys back at it first thing tomorrow morning. All right, see you guys then.
If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.